Hey everybody, Dean Baldwin here. If you're like me, then you love a good acoustic act. When I go into a restaurant or a bar and I see an acoustic, whether it's a single person with a guitar or maybe a trio or a duo, I just get excited. Yes, a lot of the times when we do an acoustic show, and I'm right there with everybody else, we pull from the same songs. Probably 80% of the set list is the same. Every now and then, though, you do run across an act where they slip in songs and you say to yourself, man, I just wasn't expecting to hear that. And that's the objective of this show right here, is for us to explore songs you normally wouldn't think you'd hear in an acoustic set and to see, can we make it work? In the end, you'll be the judge. Let me know if you think it works or if you have suggestions. For this first episode, I gave myself the challenge of Rush, and more specifically, Limelight. Could we turn Limelight into a song that would work in an acoustic set? I want to give a big shout out to Rick Beato. His YouTube episode, What Makes This a Great Song, was a big help for me. He broke down that song in a way that helped me really kind of think about how I wanted to approach the various parts. So if you haven't checked out that series or specifically that episode, please do. Now going into it, we had to think about, obviously, the guitar, what we're going to do with the bass, and, good Lord, what we're going to do with the drums. Fortunately, from the guitar perspective, I find that a lot of what Alex is doing, a lot of the chords he's doing, they move over nicely into an acoustic format. So there's a lot you can kind of do, add a little bit more accents on certain strings, but it works naturally. So on that one, I was able to play most of the song in a much more familiar way to the original format. The guitar solo, there was the challenge with guitar. Claude Debussy is credited with saying that music is the space between the notes, and I think Alex's solo in Limelight is the perfect example of what he meant by that. He comes into it with these just long, drawn-out, ethereal notes, which on acoustic, unless you just want to try to put a bunch of effects on there, which kind of defeats the purpose, you kind of lose the energy. So I did think about different ways to come into it and to handle some of the phrasings in that solo. And when you check it out, you'll see how I came at it, and hopefully you'll agree that it works. Bass, I'm not a bassist, but I did find that for the most part I just tried to stay to what Geddy was playing with his bass part. I'm sure I didn't pull it off exact. In fact, I know I didn't. But didn't really have to change up too much there. Drums was a different story. That song without the rhythm part changes quite a bit, and I tried several different things, but in the end, pulling that song off acoustically without a rhythm section or with a rhythm section is a big difference. There's a big A-B comparison there. What I ended up doing is spending a lot of time listening to Neil and what he did with the kick and the snare. And I ended up taking an old guitar case. You could do this on occasion. And really, I just played the kick and the snare part on my drum case or on my guitar case, doing a few finger flourishes on there in order to imitate the toms. And I think it worked. So I had everything set up. I was going in to start recording it, and then I found the one last thing I didn't think about: Geddy's singing. I am not in that range, so in the end, I did have to drop the song a full step to even give me a shot at singing it. And I'm not saying it came out perfect or anywhere near perfect, but it is what I had to do. And if you want to play the song acoustically, you may have to drop it a full step as well. But it does sound cool. And on the chorus, there are some really nice harmony parts that you can work in there as well. So give the song a listen. I'll provide a link to just the audio version. So if you want to pull it down and learn or use it as inspiration to reinvent your own format for the song, my guess would say, in the end, I feel like, yes, the song would fit an acoustic act, and it will be going into my acoustic set. So give a listen. Let me know what you think. So that was my rendition of Limelight by Rush performed acoustically. Does it work? Ultimately, I'll let you be the judge of that. Could you hear that in an acoustic set list? For me, I actually think I could, and I do plan on putting that into my acoustic set. So I had a lot of fun playing with it. I think it works beautifully acoustically, and as somebody who's a big Rush fan, I'd be proud to add that song into my set. So please leave comments. Let me know if there's any songs you'd like to see me break down in future episodes. And again, if you want to really get a good understanding of that song and the parts, please check out Rick Beato's episode on what makes this a great song. I can't remember what episode number it is. I'll be sure to provide a link to it below. But check it out. Be sure to follow me for future episodes as well.